Hey folks, welcome back. In the last video, we did a lot of editing for the gain structure. We checked phase and we got some rough mix going on here in the drums. We ended up right here. That's not too bad, but let's take it further. Today we're going to start with the kick drum. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take actually all of the drums right fast, and I'm going to insert a tape machine on them. We're just going to use the one that comes up for default here. The reason I'm doing that is for a little bit of saturation and for what it does to the transients. I'll turn it off and then on. I guess in the signal chain, that means that we have recorded to a tape machine and we're coming off the tape machine into our console here. And we've got a kick bus, so both kick drums are feeding this one bus. What I'm going to do, I'm going to shape a little bit of this with the console on the individual tracks. On the kick in, we're going to go ahead and put the Vision console in. And this is something you can do with any plugins, but it's pretty easy to do with the API Vision. I'm going to start with a filter on the low end. I'm just going to take some of the subs out. I'm going to head over here to the gate. What I'm trying to do here is take out the snare drum that is in this. So let's turn the gate on and get going. We're going to a fast attack expander because I don't want it to just clamp down. Okay, right about there, I'm hearing it engage and release about the right time, but the depth might be a little too much. Okay. Okay, let's turn that on and off. Okay, that's pretty cool. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to EQ this a little bit. So I'm going to turn on this EQ and I'm going to give it a little bit of oomph in the low end. Maybe 50. Yeah, let's go with 50. And I'll give it a little bit of knock, maybe around the 1.5K. Now let's turn that console on and off. On. Cool. Let's do the same idea with the kick out. We're going to high pass first. I'm going to put the gate on again. Fast attack. So I've got a quicker release on this than the other one, but it feels like it needs it. What I'm trying to do is hear the kick drum, but not the other parts of the drum set. Okay, let's go to the EQ. We're going to do sort of the same thing. I'm going to boost a little low end. And a little high end here with the 1.5K. Now both. Okay, let's hear that with the rest of the kit. Now, to me, that sounds pretty good, but I feel like we need a little bit of compression on here. So I'm just going to compress both of these at the same time on the bus. And an easy way to do this, we'll use a 1176. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to shape this so that the attack is still present. And I want the oomph after that to kind of go away. So we're going to use the release to do that. Let me go over here to a part where he's really getting on the kick drum. Right around there, I'm still hearing the attack of it. And now I'm going to use the release to sort of lengthen how long this compressor holds down. Right, here it is without. And after. It's a good bit smoother, so we'll leave it there for now. I'm going to move on to the snare drum now. I'm going to mix this with the kick drum and the rest of the kit in. Actually, I'm going to mute the hats and the toms. We'll use the Vision again. And I'm going to start with a high pass. I'm going to use this gate as well on here. Now I'm going to solo this. So we'll turn the fast attack on, expander. This is a good example of listening to the release time. If I go too fast, you'll hear it sort of chop things off. So I'm going to leave it about right there. Now without it. Okay, let's put some EQ on here. I'm going to just turn this on and probably boost a little high end. Let's listen to it. I'm going to listen in context with the other drums. Yeah, that'll probably work for now. And we're just boosting a little 5K. On there. Now I'm going to put a compressor on this channel. I'm going to use the same technique with the 1176. Sort of the same idea as well. I want the compressor to allow the transient through, and so I'm going to adjust this attack right fast. Now on this, there's many techniques to doing compression on snare drums. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this release to sort of watch the signal go down to 0 in between the hits of the 2 and the 4. That's sort of an old tried and true way of doing this, so I'm just going to leave it right there right now. So we're at, what, around 5 or 6, in between 5 and 6 on the release. Okay, the hi-hat. Not much is needed here, I don't think. I'm just going to use a simple EQ, and I'm going to take out some of the low end on the hi-hat. go back to the beginning of when the band comes in. Okay, now the toms, I'm going to use a different approach. We've used the gate on the Vision here, but what I'm going to use now is a different process. If you have access to an Oxford drum gate, you should use it because it's genius. It's so much faster than most gates to set up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tell this plugin that I'm listening to a tom, and let's see what happens. I'm going to go to a section where we hit this tom. Perfect. That's all I had to do was tell it, here's a tom. It's listening to the background. I can move this a little bit to make sure I'm not missing anything, but it intelligently listens to what's in the background and to see if it's actually a tom or not. So even though you can see that things are above the threshold, it's not allowing them through because they're not a tom. When I get over to here, that's fantastic. Now there's many other things I can do. I can change the decay of it. I can even make them all very level in volume, but that's not really what I want to do right now. I'm going to do that same thing on the next tom. I'm going to tell it that this is a tom. We're going to come out here to the end. All right, now let's listen to all of that together. The only other thing I would do at this point in time is sort of listen to the stereo width of what's going on. This is very important. I think a lot of people, when they mix drums, try to make them super wide, and that's not always what's needed. Let me bring in the bass, and we'll do this in context. Oh, hang on. Okay, so let's listen to these two bass parts. That sounds weird. Oh yeah, this is classic. When you get a mix sent to you and it sounds like that, one of those tracks is out of phase. So let's play both of those, and I'll toggle the phase of the mic. I'll just leave the DI exactly how it is. I'm sure you can hear the difference in that. I'll do that again. Off. On. Okay, now that those are in phase, let's listen to everybody. Okay, these two tracks that are overheads, I'm going to narrow these up a little bit to sort of bring in the stereo image. Sounds pretty good to me right there, but we are going to do some processing on these two overhead channels next time and do some reverbs and compression over a whole drum bus. But for now, I think that's a pretty good place. I'm going to start here on the verse 2 and we'll listen to it a little bit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Maybe we'll mess with some of this bass next time too, where we fix some timing issues. I'll show you how to do that pretty quick in Luna. Until next time, take care. We'll see you then.